What up, everybody? Showing my Xbox Series X there, and Xbox 360, although you really can't see it due to the lighting and everything. But yeah, nonetheless, though, and my Switch 2 right over there and everything. And yes, look what I got, Mario Kart World. And I've been playing it like crazy and definitely enjoying it. It's definitely a lot better than what I initially thought it was going to be. You know, it's definitely a situation where ignore the haters, ignore all the people hating on it, like for real. Because quite frankly, and I've done enough research on all of these haters to realize that they're all part of one community, and that's the online multiplayer community. So they're not really looking at what the game has to offer in terms of like anything that doesn't rely on the internet, you know. So yeah, they're probably, I guarantee you, they're probably within like the age group of the people who probably started out on like the Xbox One and PS4. Maybe the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 era, but yeah. But I can pretty much guarantee you that all these people are like half my age. You know, I'm like 40 years old. I can pretty much guarantee you they're like in their 20s, maybe teenagers or early 20s at best. So, yeah. And what's that got to do with anything? Because clearly they haven't been playing games back before the internet became a thing. Like, for real. Clearly they never played the NES or the SNES or the N64 or the GameCube. You know, they never really played any games to realize how fun gaming was without having to rely on the internet. So, yeah. Now, I've heard about how it lacks content with the online mode with Mario Kart World. I get that. I'm sure it is a bit frustrating. But to sit there and say that the whole game is trash just because the online multiplayer is not good, that's stupid. I'm just going to be honest on that. Yeah, and the whole purpose of me showing my Xbox One and stuff off from the beginning was to prove that I'm not just some Nintendo fanboy, because a Nintendo fanboy wouldn't have an Xbox. Let's keep it real on that. So, yeah, I've also got a PS4 down on the bottom shelf, which, don't know if you can see that, but yeah, my Batman Edition PS4. So, yeah. So I've got something to play on all platforms, still except for PC, but still. Which, I tell you what, with the way gaming is going, if I ever decide, hey, I need something more advanced, I probably will go with a PC, but whatever. Nonetheless, though, at the end of the day, I can honestly say that I think Mario Kart World is probably the peak of what we're going to get. Now, there are some improvements they can make to it, don't get me wrong, I have my fair share of complaints too, but it's nowhere near as bad as what I thought they would be, after playing it. Ain't like the Breath of the Wild situation where when I played Breath of the Wild, I still stood by my complaints. No. You know, when I played Mario Kart World, pretty much all my complaints went away. You know, my overall, viewpoints and opinion regarding the game has completely changed. Like, did a complete 360. So, yeah. Or 180 or whatever it's called. I think it's 180. But nonetheless, though, at the end of the day, yeah. I think it only has like 32 tracks in total, which, yes, you can play 3 laps on every single one of those tracks if you want to. I mean, granted, I think you have to do like a single race thing or a Grand Prix in order to be able to do that, but still. But yeah, and all of these tracks, even the ones that are literally old tracks from previous games, they've done enough redesign and everything else with them to make them feel like a whole new track. You know, this is a situation where it's quality over quantity. Like, just gonna be honest. But yes, yes, I love the soundtrack. The soundtrack, I can listen to that all day. Speaking of soundtrack, and this is where one of my complaints come in, I wish we can actually make our own custom playlist. Like, actually select what songs will be played and everything. I wish we had that option. I wish there was more outfits to unlock for certain characters, like Pauline and Donkey Kong, for example. Those 2 characters only have one unlockable outfit. That's it. I'm like, you would think that they would have took, Donkey Kong Bonanza in mind or whatever whenever they made some updates for that game. I know that, Mario Kart World came out before Donkey Kong Bonanza, but we've had plenty of updates since then. So you think they would have patched in some new outfits for Donkey Kong or some new outfits for Pauline. And yeah. And speaking of that, they could also release future characters like, the kid version of Pauline as a playable character from Mario Kart World. and King K. Rool and stuff like that. So yeah, and Diddy and Dixie Kong, not just Diddy Kong, but Dixie Kong also, because she was also racing on a rhino within the Donkey Kong Bonanza game. So yeah, so technically, if they add Diddy Kong to it, they should be adding Dixie Kong as well. So yeah, which would be awesome. That'd be the first time we got Dixie Kong in any Mario Kart game. So yeah. But anyway, though, yeah, there could be some more outfits. I would love the option to be able to make my own playlist when it comes to the music. And I would like more when it comes to the battle mode. I mean, the battle mode is still fun and everything. Definitely a lot better than when we had Mario Kart 8, that's for sure. And I'm talking about the one on the Wii U, not the one on the Switch. So, yeah. But nonetheless, though, the battle mode is still fun for what we do have, you know. Everything is fun about this game. It's great. I would honestly say it's probably going to go down as my all-time favorite game. And you know what? I have no problem with the fact that I paid the full $80 to get it. Well, a little over $85 after taxes, but still. I've got no regret whatsoever with that, because I know damn well I'll get my money's worth. Hell, I feel like I already have got my money's worth out of it. So, yeah. Definitely a lot better than I thought it would be. I would definitely recommend it to anyone who don't already have it. You know, that's what I thought was also funny when people say now, oh, the Switch 2 is going to fail now because they're discontinuing the Mario Kart World bundle. Oh, okay, you know, PlayStation and Xbox doing so much better. Like, oh yeah, you mean systems that already have so many more established games and whatnot? Yeah, of course, they're going to sell better. Here's the thing, though. I know this for a fact. Did the Xbox Series X come with a game? No, it didn't. Did the PlayStation 5 come with a game? No, it didn't. Well, I think in the start it came with some kind of Astro Bot game or whatever it's called. But it don't know more, so yeah, and it's still selling like hotcakes, so nobody can sit there and say the Switch 2 is going to fail just because they're going to discontinue the Mario Kart World bundle. And let's be honest, they only really deducted, what, like $30 off that game? You know, if you just buy it physically separately, so yeah. Anyone that actually cares about physical media, which you really should when it comes to the Switch 2, ain't really going to care about that $30 extra. You know how much storage the physical copy of Mario Kart World takes up? 200 MBs. That's less than a fourth of a gigabyte. So, yeah. So, if you're going with an all-digital route, like what you would have had to if you got the one that was bundled with Mario Kart World, it wouldn't be no time at all, and you're going to be having to invest into a micro SD card. But by going with a physical route, you're saving money. So technically, it all balances itself out, you know. But yeah, again, I have very, very little complaints with this game. Yes, I wish there was more outfits for characters. I wish there was a way to customize our, save our playlist of music and everything. I wish there was a way to up the amount of speed that you can drive at. You know, because it feels like you're stuck at 50cc regardless of, what you're doing. That's what it feels like the speed I'm driving at. It's annoying in that regard. But aside from those very few complaints I have, and I wish I had more for battle modes, yeah, that's one thing I wish I had more of. But nonetheless, though, the complaints are very minimum compared to everything that's good about the game. So, yeah, so definitely ignore the haters, especially since the haters are just an online community when it's all said and done. I'm sorry, but y'all playing the game for the wrong reason if that's what you're looking for. You got the wrong game altogether if you're just wanting to play online multiplayer. Like, get some friends in real life that you actually see, and then you'll have a lot more fun with it, because there's a lot more you can do with the local multiplayer, like the couch co-op stuff, than what there is you're going to be able to do on online. And it's always been like that, even when online was introduced. So, yeah. Y'all take care. God bless and peace.